Welcome to the Whiskey Vault. I am Daniel Whittington, Chancellor of Wizard Academy and Whiskey Marketing School. Today is Hidden Drams, where one of our people gave a bottle, one of the Psalms, this one is Justin Boyer, gave us this bottle, and I wanted to talk about it before I put it into the vault. You will probably not be able to get this, and that's okay. Sorry about that. That's the idea of these Friday videos, where we try to talk about something and shine a light on something that you may not have heard of. And this is an interesting one because it's Belmont Farm. And Belmont Farm, arguably the first or like one of the earliest distilleries craft. I mean, they're 30 years old, not the first. So one of the earliest in all of America. I think they were on moonshiners at one point. And they were making, in Virginia, they're making double pot still whiskey. They're pot still first, and then they into a doubler, which their version of the doubler makes it just a second pot still, effectively. And I have a thing, which we'll talk about in a second, but really interesting. This is 100% malted barley. Once it hits 3, they bottle it, I mean. So, I don't know, I think this is New American Oak. Yeah, it's New American Oak, barley, double pot stilled in Virginia. In Virginia. So, as someone who truly loves American single malt, my question is going to be, is this, from what I read about their history, these people have, the family, they have moonshiner history going back into the 1800s and then got legal in the 80s, 1980s. And so is it the corn and American style whiskey making that is informing their palate choices and flavor choices for the malt? Or that's an interesting direction because so many of the American single malt people are inspired by Scotland and Ireland, and they're taking those influences and trying to bring them into American single malt. It smells nice. It does smell young for barley. I'm sorry, it smells young. Barley, in my experience, tends to take a little longer for the oxidation to soften some of the new make notes. But it's not fainty, which means it's not really like so low cut that it's got these unwieldy flavors that haven't had time to really mature. So it smells like a really kind of slightly granola, super honey cream. Very fruity. But it's overripe fruits. Like if it was a peach, it's a peach that fell off the tree and landed on the ground, and it's now starting to go. And as you walk around the orchard, you can smell the overripe, not rotten quiet, but the overripe peach aromas. Interesting. Justin Boyer, actually, I'll take a sip of this first, and then I'll think about it. Justin Boyer was writing for the Whiskey Tribe newsletter for a while. That's where you may have seen his name. Cinnamon, cream, slight tannin, goes dry. Ooh, long, oily. It's 43. For 43%, it's going way down into the throat for days. That's interesting. Okay. I'm going to say on record first, I like it in the sense that, like, there's nothing wrong with it. It's not like, not my thing. It's like, no, I like this. I'm trying to wrap my head. It's very simple. I'm trying to wrap my head around what's going on. Now, I will talk a bit ranty, and it's one of those, like, you've heard me say there's no such thing as a unique selling proposition, because if it actually matters, it's only going to be owned by you until it becomes financially viable for everybody else, and then they're all going to do it. So if it's unique to you and it makes money, you're not going to be the only one doing it for very long. If it's unique to you and it doesn't make money, it probably doesn't matter. In business. I went to look these guys up and figure out what their story was at Belmont Farm. Their whole website is about their copper pot still. And we're the only ones. And how, and there's statements made that are really dogmatic, like, until 30 years ago, for popular consumption, whiskey had been made in column stills. Full stop. Now, I'm going to argue they're 100% correct when it comes to coming out of Prohibition. The only distilleries legally making whiskey were almost all entirely produced the first distillation on a column still, second distillation on either a doubler or a thumper. A doubler is, think of it this way, it's really oversimplified. There's a couple kinds of doublers, but a doubler, in the way they mean it, is more of a pot still. Liquid goes in, it's distilled a second time. A thumper, vapor goes in from the first still and gets increasingly rectified. We'll just call it that. And that's true. For mass market purposes, all the big brands were using a column still. These guys start up in the 80s. They're used legally. They are using 2 pot stills, and that is absolutely unique at that time. By the 1990s, less than a decade later, craft distilleries are cropping up all over the US, and a lot of them are using pot stills, even to make bourbon. A lot of them. And so once again, you have this thing that's like, we're the only ones. What makes us unique is a genuine copper pot still. Except for now, there's over 2,000 craft distilleries, and a massive amount of them are using copper pot stills to make everything. And so again, it's not a thing. They use only choice malt. Yeah, or else what? What was your other options? There still was constructed. These are all, it's a whole long litany of list of interesting facts presented as a selling point. And those are 2 different things. An interesting fact belongs on a plaque next to your pot still. This pot still was made in 1933. Oh, that's cool. It does not belong as like, the reason our whiskey's good is because we have a still made in 1933, and that's how it's presented. And I find that really frustrating. I am not as annoyed by it with this crew because these guys just seem like the old school whiskey making family, and I find it a little endearing, like when your grandparents or your older family members start telling old stories and you're like, yeah, we know. But you want them to tell it anyway because, you know, tell the story again. It feels a little bit like that. When a new brand opens up, as in like in the last 2 or 3 years, and they want to do this same crap, I will have no mercy. All right, I was letting this thing rest and the palate open up a little bit more. I'm still getting super vanilla, super Honey Nut Cheerio and cream, slight granolas. It's good, but it's simple. It's not, I wish they do 4-day fermentations. I wish I was getting more of the fruit notes than I'm getting in here right now. And I don't know why that would be. The only thing I can think is the new American oak, if that's what it is dominating the distillate and just overpowering what showed up in fermentations and distillate with those vanillins and the super new oak impacts. But it's a well-made whiskey. So, Justin, thank you. And cheers to you guys. I'm really glad you're here. This YouTube channel was founded in 2015-ish. And that's what makes us good. And if you like that, you should like and subscribe.